Yes, Sergey, that question about the stages of certification. Do you plan to have them in Russian? We answered yes, it is planned for the second and third level of certification on the second and third level. There was a question from the chat. Does the program correspond to the Russian PPP statute? And FZ 223 doesn't correspond to international standard. The program is based on international standards. It doesn't correspond. In 2020 was special project and PPP. It doesn't correspond. It's not based on 224. We have separate program that we conduct every year in Moscow. This is the live program. In October this year, we get together the cohort. If you want to study till the moment of operation of the facilities, you can look at it in detail within the Russian legislation you want to sort out. I recommend this program. If you want to move into international projects of large infrastructural projects that are realized with involvement of the budget financing and international development institutes, I recommend to look at the program of CP3P. I think it would be right if you plan to move in that direction, in the direction of participation in infrastructural projects with international financial institutions. Yes, I'd like to confirm in some countries which don't have national programs, our customers, such as IFC, BRD, ask us to include session or two sessions on national legislation. We discussed with Belarus the question where with the World Bank, where the program a separate full day dedicated to local expert reading of lecture, because on this market, it's the first experience with people who don't know about PPP at all. They introduce them to the global recommendations and national recommendations. In Russia, there's no analogy such as National Center of PPP in terms of the capacity, in terms of power. In order to focus on Russian legislation, it's good to see the programs. Our Rosinfra resource will discuss what are the realities, how does it correspond to the Russian realities. And your trainers know about this, they know Russian legislation. But this is not the subject of study. It's principle, enabling approach by the program. It talks about universal principles and the best international practices. We have a number of the questions in the chat. To understand correctly, that preparation to the first level, once a year. Sergey, we talk about the first level, second and third, I think, in a year. I think next year, not necessarily end of year. On our side, we're quite prompt. We can do everything quickly. Number of the listeners is important. Yes, colleagues, I will say that coming program that starts on 11th of October, there's limited seats, no more than 25. The group is formed by 70%. So application deadline since till 5th of October, if you have desire, you can declare it connecting to the National PPP Center of Russia or PPP Academy, or use the link on the website. We can be able to include you into the cohort. Another question, you talk about case, Polkwa, there's modern project. Are there more modern projects? Obviously, you will use it during your classes. The project is very beneficial for the usage in different countries. Advantage of it, it's got deep history. It passed stages, deep into exploitation stage, and the refinancing of senior debt, change of the shareholders. We can talk about full cycle of the project. So demonstration purposes, So that theory of APMG management can be illustrated by the projects we use as the case study. It's very lucky and successful in terms of particulars, and aspects will refer to fresher projects that are held by Russian practitioners. And of course, we hope very much that given program, Russian participants will bring with them many illustrations from their practice. I think those who studied with Western programs and with best Russian programs, you know that good training session is not lecture, and everyone writes notes. It's discussion, most of the time interactive. If you switch on clockwork, the good course, 50% is the participants talking, no less than half. With pleasure, we will discuss it with you. Colleagues, if you have any questions, please ask those questions now. No more questions. Once again, the program starts on the 11th of October. It's introductory webinar. Then participants go for self-study with trainer. Self-study is conducted on training platform. You have personal cabinet, office. You have access to all materials that will allow you to prepare to the offline sessions on 20th, 20th, 21st of October. First session in Zoom since 10 till 18 p.m. for 3 days, then short break. Another 3 days for classes in Zoom. That will be live broadcast. You will have consultation, questions asked. You have remote teaching for 3 days. Exams are planned for the 30th of October. In such mode, in such format, we plan to teach. If you want to have answered additional questions, you can ask questions now. We have a few minutes left. Hello. Yes, hello. My name is Ivankov Yegor. I represent Salus Group. Question is, there is a statute on experimental legal regimes. It's quite fresh. How much this course in the theme of this law? Yegor, this course doesn't pursue analysis of national laws. It's, let's see, you pass exam, meaning you know the guideline written in 2016 that has got illustrations from practice of different countries. The author selected the illustrations. Unquestionably, during the course, we can react, and it is very constructive method when we talk. And we say that this global management recommends this guideline. It's really helpful when we discuss it. But entering into the curriculum, some novelties and some fresh items and national conditions was not provided by the program. I'll explain what's the context of the question. The colleague said that if a company don't have certified specialists, so such as Asian bank will not finance the given project. So it happens that new legislative changes that took place in different local countries don't influence. No. The management written in 2016 is the relevant edition. It was not revised. The owner is the World Bank. I think that the World Bank certainly have accumulated observation experience regarding optimization need, review need, renewal need. It's not question to us or APMG. When World Bank make decision regarding how to act, we were not informed. So we base our starting point to understand that one of the escape ways from this situation, Igor, for instance, during that time you have legislative acts and realities in life, such as all the questions of ESG, ecological, governance, social, become more important. Some new case studies appeared on the global level. They shook market. One of the escapeways that approached by the customers last year, based on the request from the World Bank, we composed a regional additional program, CP3P plus. It's called PPP Professional Expertise. We read 200 listeners. It is based on the CP3P guide theory. It was day for financial modeling. There were sessions on risk management. There were cost and benefit analysis, value for money, and half day dedicated to ecological questions and changes of the climate. So there are things, the additional things we're saying that are compatible, compliant with CP3P. And what Richard said, there is certification, absolutely new, and we learned about it just a week ago regarding climate change. What is degree? For now, it got facultative addition. World Bank will renew the body of knowledge. Then, we clearly, one of the differences of this program is that it's not only international, it provides global recommendations, it's also certified. And organizations to receive the right to teach, and to every trainer, we pass serious procedure of the certification made by APMG. We have quality control practices. We have assurance of the professional liability. We use standard presentations of what we develop, we certify in APMG. We have clear liability for the fact that we don't fantasize, and we teach what is the official body of knowledge. Great. Thank you for your answer. Good day, colleagues. And you too, colleagues. We have one question in the chat regarding certification of the first level given for the certain period of time. Does it have to be confirmed year after, or there is expiration date? No other qualifications, no confirmation, no expiration, and no need to renew after several years. It's active always, at any point of time. Based on it, if you had received first level certification, you can apply for the second and the third at any time you please. Colleagues, do you have questions? Colleagues, if you have no questions, I suggest to wrap up our meeting. Thank you, speakers and participants, for finding time and stay till the end, and for asking and clearly listening to the answers and questions. Everyone who is interested in our program, come. Richard, Sergey, thank you very much for participation. Thank you very much. We'll see you at the course teaching class. Thank you, colleagues.